Good afternoon and welcome to the Johnny Cleveland podcast. And I am very excited to have invited coming to the show today. We have the crew from ClevelandSportTalk.com, a great group of writers, and they're all invested in various sports teams. And a lot of us here are big Browns fans. And so we're going to have a little roundtable discussion, except for Mel there, Steeler fan. Excited that you're all here. Thank you for showing up. And we're just going to talk a little football today on our podcast. So thanks again. It's Saturday afternoon, day before the big Browns. I was almost going to say Steelers game, Browns game. And wanted to kind of go around the view right now and introduce everybody. We've got Dan all the way from England. We've got Zach up there in Cleveland. Zach and I had a chance to visit the other night, which was awesome. Yeah. I got Josh here also from up in Cleveland. And I got Mel here, the Steeler fan. And then I got Willie. Willie's all the way down in Dallas, outside Dallas, Texas. And so I just wanted to, again, thank you guys for being on the show. It's awesome. Wanted to give each of you a chance to sort of introduce yourselves. You want to share anything about your background and how you got working for CleveSportTalk.com. Zach and I had a great conversation. He's got a great group of writers. So, Dan, I'll start with you since you're all the way out there in England.
Yeah, sure.
A little rundown. I see the bucket here.
Thanks for thanks for inviting me on the show. Yeah, so you can probably tell from my accent that I'm not an expat from America over in England. I was actually born here. Living in Bristol, just about an hour and a half west of London.
Okay.
I've been a sports fan since 2002. So I've got relatives in Solon in Northeast Ohio. So I went to visit them when I was about 16, went to an Indians game, got hooked on baseball and the Tribe. Sorry, can't call them that anymore. Can't call them the Indians. But,
yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Don't let nobody tell you different.
One more season, you can call them that.
No, right. And then the next year, fortuitously, we drafted LeBron, so I became a big basketball Cavs fan.
Oh, and yes, absolutely.
I made it the trio with the Browns in 2004, so I missed the last time we were in the postseason. But yeah, I've been diehard fan because I have that connection. Went to the game when they were over in London in 2017, where we met, Jim Brown, Hanford Dixon, Cribbs. So that was
Hanford Dixon, absolutely, yeah.
And always enjoy it, the highs and the lows, and really great to be part of the whole Cleveland, Ohio brotherhood and sisterhood.
That's great. Dan, did you actually get to meet like Jim Brown? Like, did you get to?
Yeah. So the Browns Backers Club that I'm a part of in the UK.
Yes.
We set up kind of the party on the Saturday before. So Mary Kay Cabot was there. The mascots were there. Jimmy and Dee Haslam were there pouring pints behind the bar. And then there were rumors about who it was going to be. Everyone thought it'd be Bernie. Nobody thought that Jim Brown would be able to make a 7-hour flight. Years. And then when he walked through the door, couldn't believe it.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
And then to have Josh Cribbs as well and Hanford Dixon, it was an unbelievable.
Oh, Josh
experience.
Cribbs, yeah, there you go. Hanford Dixon, one of my favorites growing up in the 80s. Absolutely.
Yeah, the original dog.
Oh yeah, Frank Minifield and Hanford Dixon, man, they were it. Sold, they kind of started that whole dog pound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bit. So, well, Dan, it's awesome to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on, and we're excited that you're part of our group, and I'm excited I'm part of the group. So, Zach, we got to meet you the other night, but you want to give people a little bit of a background? You're the master of all of this.
Yeah, sure. So I was on the Johnny Cleveland podcast just the other night. It was
Thank you.
Great experience for everyone involved. And yeah, I created Cleveland Sports Talk just about coming up on 10 years now, this upcoming May. So that's going to be a cool anniversary. And I've been a Cleveland sports fan really my entire life. I live in a suburb of Cleveland, so just naturally born in the area. It's been mostly misery being a Cleveland fan, to be honest. But recently things are starting.
But you're loyal.
Yes, of course. Recently, things are starting to improve, especially with the Browns, and of course, we had our wonderful Cavs, and the Indians had some good times too. So,
Yes.
things are looking up.
That's awesome. Hey, all of you that are watching, again, you can watch us on Facebook live right now and on my YouTube channel, the Johnny Cleveland Podcast. Some of the other guys here also have their own podcasts, and if they want to share that out. But we also have Willie here. Willie, you want to give us welcome to the show. You're coming from us down out west there in Dallas.
Yeah, I've been in Dallas now for a little more than 20 years. My favorite teams all are on the West Coast: Oakland A's, LA Lakers, and now the Las Vegas Raiders. So we will be the first franchise to win a Super Bowl in 3 different cities. But yeah, so for me, man, I've been at this thing now for a while, a good 5 years or so. I got 2 shows and a podcast. One is called the Shake Back Sports Show, and the other is the #Brothers of Baseball Show.
Yes.
My sister here on CST, Natalie Turk, she's contributed with me on the baseball show several times. So
it was a good show the other night.
Yeah, and the podcast is actually called the Shake Back Sports OT, and all of this is powered by the BGC Sports Network down here in Dallas. So yeah, man, I'm excited to be on the show, Johnny. Man, John, I really appreciate it. I've watched some of your projects. Watched the one the other night with you and Zach. Was very entertained.
Well, Willie, I'm trying to work on a little more of an intro. I like your intro that you've kind of created. I've got my son. I've mentioned to Zach, my elder son, Alec, is a senior in college. He's a media, getting a degree in media production, and he's a big YouTuber, and he's got almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I keep trying to get him to send me some more subscribers for YouTube, but he's putting together a kind of an intro. I like yours so much. I'm trying to get him to do something like that.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I'm not really that well versed in that sort of stuff. I was just kind of experimenting and put a bunch of pictures together of people that I've interviewed, and then just attach some music to it, and that was it. Yeah.
Well, very good. It's great to have you here. I really have enjoyed your podcast as well. So, Mel, you got your Pittsburgh Steeler shirt on. I appreciate the loyalty. It's been a week. Are you doing okay?
I'm fine. I am perfectly fine. I am not the actual delusional fan. I know football. I know when it's time to walk away. I know when we're gonna suck. So I'm okay with it. I've been, but believe it or not, outside of the Cavs and the Indians, I've been a Steelers fan all my life. My favorite player at the time that I started watching the Steelers was Rod Woodson. So if anybody knows Rod Woodson came from Purdue, and the Steelers picked him right up. So
he went to Purdue. Okay, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, he was a Big Ten guy.
Maker. Yeah. I've been there a couple times.
I'm not a Purdue fan, but he was like the best. He was the best thing going for Purdue. From there, it was Carnell Lake, Barry Foster, Hines Ward. You pick them. You have your pick.
I hated Hines Ward. Ugh.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Drove me nuts.
You guys are hating the wrong people.
Well, maybe later on we can talk a little bit about your Steelers and some of their players being a little crybabies after their loss. Talking about Cleveland not having a class.
Listen. After retiring, I no longer talk about those type of things because I don't care.
So you played ball too, right? You were telling me before the show you played college ball and some semi-pro.
Yeah, I actually played junior college ball at Ohio Midwestern down in Cincinnati. From there, I played 13 years of semi-pro, and last season was with the Northeast Ohio Silverbacks down in Akron. We ended up winning the Premier Amateur League Championship, and that was it for me. I played I had retired from arena ball back in 2015.
Okay.
So I'm pretty toured, if that means anything. Started with the Miami Valley Silverbacks down in Dayton.
Yes.
Was where the home base was, and from there moved to the Western PA Sting, the Western PA Wildcats when they were an indoor team. Spent some time in Marion.
Yeah. Oh, Marion.
then
I've been up there a few times.
Had
Marion, Ohio?
Yes.
And
yes.
they had a semi-pro
Marion.
team up there?
No, they had an indoor football team or arena team down there.
Oh, okay.
They played at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, which in my opinion is one of the worst places to play in ever.
Oh, that's where the Jacksonville Sharks play, I'm pretty sure.
Well, you should come out to Kansas sometime next time and see some of the places.
Nope. Nope. I don't like the land of dirt. I don't like birds.
Right.
I don't.
Well, Mal,
I don't even know what a Jayhawk looks like. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, cool. Josh, how are you?
Well,
welcome.
I've been better. You know, I'm still in the midst of recovery from jaw surgery, about 6 weeks out from that. So,
Okay.
You know, it was hard for me because I missed doing YouTube. Like, before this season, I had a goal to do a video collaboration with a YouTuber.
Yes.
For every game on the Browns schedule.
Right.
And I was doing that. And then, you know,
yes,
life interfered.
That's all right. That's going to happen.
But I am the only one on Cleveland Sports Talk that cares about the Cleveland Monsters. I am the only one. I am the only.
I got a cousin. Are they the hockey team? Is that right? The Monsters?
That's right.
My cousin Chris is a big Monsters fan. He lives up there in Cleveland, up there in Euclid.
Yep. My friends and I actually just became partial season ticket holders for them.
Excellent.
Kind of sucks that COVID is interfering, but whatever. I'm the only one that really gives a crap about the UFC and Cleveland's first champion in 2016.
Yep. That's right.
Zach knows that. I love the Cavaliers. They're my number one team in all sports, but they did not bring the first championship to Cleveland in 2016. No.
The first meaningful championship.
Hey, whoa,
I'm sorry, Dad, but you're wrong there too.
Yeah, you really are, Dan. That kind of hurt my feelings, man.
Nope.
I'm just messing.
And if we're being really honest,
What about the MMA fighter
team to win the championship?
Say that
again, Mel.
I said, if we're really being honest,
MMA fighter Miocic was
no,
to break the
man, that don't count. As much as we love Stipe, wait. As much as we love Stipe, that's an individual championship. That don't count because when you go home as a fighter at night, that belt comes with him. It don't go back to us.
You are.
It doesn't go to ownership.
Wrong.
Wow.
Wrong.
I'm just being honest.
To take the word wrong, sir.
Well,
wrong.
Josh,
do you know that in order to train, Stipe doesn't just go to strong style and train by himself. He has coaches, that he has training partners. He has people that film his opponent. It's not an individual championship. So I'm sorry, but you are dead wrong, Mal.
I would like to see you argue that when Stipe is the one taking the punches in the ring.
First of all, it's an octagon. First of all, it's an octagon, not a ring. Second of all,
it's all the same to me.
It's not though. When you're dealing with me, you gotta get your terms right. I'm sorry, Mel, but
I've been in enough fights. It's all the same to me.
That's right. So I'm gonna thanks guys for being here. I appreciate it. You guys all have great backgrounds. This is awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna reel you back in here. So we got a big game tomorrow. For us Browns fans, especially, the Browns actually left earlier this morning. I think around 10, 11 o'clock. They were on their buses. I saw some cool videos of a lot of fans over there in Berea and some fans downtown, wishing them well. So they're going out to KC, out there to Arrowhead, and we're still, as Browns fans, we're very excited. This last week, I've been wearing Browns gear every day as good luck for the last two straight weeks. And so I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I'd like to kind of get everyone's kind of individual take. We all write different things on clevesporttalk.com, and check that out. But I know in my articles, I've written a lot about Coach Stefanski and his leadership, and even in his absence last game, the Browns really have bought in and really believe in their group, and I think that really helped them last week against the Steelers. So now we've got the Chiefs, and the Chiefs obviously are world champs. They are they've had a chance to kind of rest some of their starters. There's been some discussions about Patrick Mahomes not having played in 3 weeks, and but the Chiefs still, I think they're 14-2. They're coming into this game.
15.
The Chiefs kind of remind me of when the Browns were kind of good in that late 80s, early 90s period, where they didn't have to play that wild card game and got ready to play this divisional game. So I just wanted everyone's take. I'm feeling pretty good today. I know it's a day before the game starts, and like I think Zach had mentioned before, at least we don't have to wait around till 8 o'clock tomorrow night before the game starts. So the game will start at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock Eastern. If you're out there in Kansas, a lot of you might know I didn't grow up out there, but I lived out there for 26 years. So I have a lot of fans or friends that are Chiefs fans, and we've had a lot of conversations. Actually, we're doing another podcast with some of those Chiefs fans tomorrow on the Johnny Cleveland podcast. But wanted your take. Anybody wanted to, you can just kind of anybody want to share out how you feel? I'm feeling pretty good today. My guess is the Browns are going to play pretty well tomorrow, and we can kind of dive into that in more detail. But anybody want to start off, share kind of what you think?
So I guess I'll start. Sorry, Billy.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry.
On the subject of hosting Chiefs fans on your podcast, this is actually the first of 3 video collaborations I have today, because over on my channel, Under to the Max, I am hosting 2 separate video collaborations with Chiefs fans. One's at 7 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
One's at 9 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
So stay tuned for those. The show I host on my channel is called the Sports Room Talk Show, but my channel is called Under to the Max. So first of all, you said you've been wearing like your Lucky Brown stuff.
Yes.
I've been doing that same type of thing all season. Like I have my Lucky hat on right now, just because I wanted to wear something Browns. Like I have a brown shirt on underneath this.
Yeah.
But I also have brown socks. I have my Browns quarter zip. I'm not done. I have an Are You Orange shirt, which actually, funny enough, my cousins actually gave that to me because of like the Phoenix Suns or something. They live in Arizona, but I've turned it into a brown shirt. So what the heck? And then I have a brown sweatshirt. So
you got it all.
Josh,
my eyes are hurting.
You is how are you feeling like right now? How do you feel? Like there's a lot of things to dissect, but what do you think? Just off the top of your head, how do you feel?
So this is a tough game because Kansas City, they're not like Pittsburgh. Like they have a little bit of a running game. They don't use it that much, but they have a little bit of one. Like they'll sprinkle in like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire run or Le'Veon Bell, Damian Williams when he was there last year, which again, he should have won Super Bowl MVP, not Mahomes.
Yes.
But that's a different conversation for a different day.
Right.
But anyway, what I want to know is, let's say Kansas City gets out to an early 14-0 lead.
Sure.
Just hypothetically. I'm not saying obviously I don't want that to happen, but hypothetically, if the Browns if Kansas City gets off to that fast start that we know them to do, are the Browns going to be like, oh shit, we got to hit the panic button and go I almost said Patrick Mahomes. No, Baker Mayfield. We're not going to run the ball. You need to throw us back into this ball game.
Right.
Or are they going to stay patient and keep trying to run the ball? Because early on in the AFC Championship game last year, Tennessee was having success with Derrick Henry running the ball.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, Kansas City adjusted and was able to contain Derrick Henry, at least to a certain extent. I wouldn't say they stopped him. But the difference is, in this game, the Chiefs are going up against 2 running backs, not just one.
Right. I think that's a good point. Willie, you were going to say something. How are you? Do you feel the same way? Like,
again, I apologize for cutting you off.
No, it's cool.
No, it's all right. It's all right, Josh. You beat me to the punch, but
I should have had a buzzer. No.
Yeah.
You should.
Number one, I absolutely hate the Chiefs, and it's a running joke on my show because
you're Raiders fan, though.
Exactly. So whenever we're talking about the Chiefs on my show, I always have to insert I hate them. So yeah, I hate them. But as far as this game goes, now when we did our NFL prediction show back in whenever it was September, when we didn't even think there was going to be a season, I did pick the Chiefs and the Buccaneers to go to the Super Bowl. But now I'm twisted because I asked you guys in the chat on Facebook if I could become an honorary Cleveland Browns fan, and nobody,
I remember this,
and nobody confirmed or denied it. So I just put myself as a Browns fan. So
I love it.
But in this
a lot of bandwagoning going on here.
No. I don't have a dog in the fight, so I have to go with the team. And as much grief as I've given the Browns, man, even earlier this year.
Yes.
But when they came to Dallas and put the smack down on the Cowboys,
yes,
nothing made me more happy than that, because there's only 2 other teams, or maybe 3 other teams in the world that I hate besides Kansas City, and one of them is Dallas. But I think
the others.
Yeah, I think for the Browns, the number that needs to be reached is 225.
Okay.
And that's 225 rushing yards.
Okay.
Between Hunt and Chubb and Mayfield.
Is that because you think we got to control the clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is though, that we've seen that happen to the Chiefs before. You know, the Titans were, I think, the best team last year left in the playoffs to beat the Chiefs simply because they could run the ball the way that they did. But
I agree.
For some reason, Mike Vrabel got away from the running game there in the second half. I don't know why.
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
he did.
He wouldn't.
He did.
They weren't as committed to the running game in the second half as we were used to seeing throughout the season, and that is what was needed, particularly at that point. But I think that if the Browns can get to 225 rushing yards and Baker not turn the ball over.
Yeah, he's only had 19. He's had 19 touchdowns, 1 interception since October 25th game against Cincinnati. So,
and that's the best in the NFL. That's the best in the NFL.
That's also the game when OBJ went out. But
yep,
Willie,
and that's where he threw the last interception.
Right. Willie, if I may, Tim, if you want to talk about going away from the run game, talk to Kyle Shanahan.
Oh gosh.
Dan, up there in England, what are you feeling like going into the game on Sunday? What do you think?
Yeah, well, everyone's been talking about the running game, and Casey has to stop 2 running backs. But first of all, we got to have some confidence that the play calling is going to favor the run over the pass, especially in the early game. a big complaint from a lot of fans over the last handful of games. You know, a couple of games. In the last handful is that they're not running the ball enough. Whether it be clock management, like in the Ravens game where they should have been running the ball.
Yes.
Take some seconds off the clock so they didn't have a chance to come back and win that game.
Right.
Or whether it even be last weekend. I mean, yes, we came out and won the game, but there were still moments in that game where momentum was starting to shift, and we were forced to go 3 and out and punt when we should have been running the ball, when we were trying to force passes that maybe weren't there. So first of all, I've got to have confidence that Stefanski is going to actually favor the run, especially if the run's good. You know, if Chubb's getting some good chunk plays, we know he's the best running back in terms of big chunk plays. He's the best guy in yards after contact. The formula's there to use the running backs. That's a great receiving running back as well. So I think that's the foundation. That's the most important thing, is to get that running game going.
Well, Dan, I was reading something the other day. They were talking about Stefanski. The last time that Stefanski went up against the Chiefs, it was in a playoff game. I'm not sure, but he was when he was with the Vikings, and they were talking about what he was doing offensively.
Oh, that was last season when the Vikings played the Chiefs in the regular season.
They talked a little bit about how he used a lot of screen passes, more so. And so I'm wondering, like, tomorrow, if we're going to see a little bit more of that, whoever gets it, either Chubb or Hunt or whomever. But Zach, where are you at today? I know you've been pretty upbeat about it. I know we talked a little bit the other night on the podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess I would say. I think that much of what the other guys here are saying, the Browns really need to control the clock, control the running game, and they cannot get down to that 14-0 scenario like Josh was just saying.
Yeah.
They can't get in a scenario where they have to put it on Baker Mayfield to be a passing quarterback in order to come back from a deficit of great lengths. Yeah. So I think that if the Browns can control the clock, can be able to run the ball, and if the defense is able to step up and keep it a close game, then that's the recipe for success.
No, I'm knocking on Zach. I'm knocking on wood here, but no one's talked all week about Cody Parkey, the kicker for the Browns. But he had 11 points. He was perfect last Sunday. I know it's not a huge deal, but if he doesn't make some of those extra points, the Steelers are, instead of being down, 10 or 11, they might be down 8 or 9. I just thought that was something that no one's. I'm wondering tomorrow if our kicking game is going to be a nerve-wracking affair. But Cody did a great job last time. I don't know, we haven't talked about him, but I wanted to give him a shout out because he helped the Browns last Sunday as well. But we lost Mel. Where did Mel go? Oh, is Mel there? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can bring him back. He got disconnected, it looks like. Maybe.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I froze up.
Oh, that's all right. So, Mel, you're the Steeler fan. You've just been destroyed by our Browns. You don't feel the same way that Chase Claypool feels about the Browns being classless and
I don't.
Clapped? And
no. Here's the thing. I wanted to touch on this because Willie said something that was Willie and Josh both said something that was very, very interesting. The game last year against Tennessee, you had an issue where, Vrabel got away from the run game. And I keep saying this with Tennessee, especially if you stop or hold Derrick Henry to under 100 yards, you force Tannehill to become the guy to beat you. And that doesn't happen very often if you're really watching how Tannehill plays. So that was a different scenario. Yep. This is not that same scenario with the Browns. With the Browns, if you are in a track meet with them, that's a problem for you as a defense because the Browns have shown They can score 40 points a game all season.
Yep.
And I said this with the Ohio State game. I'm saying this with the Browns game now. You do not want to get into a track meet with the Browns. The reason being is because they score at a very fast rate. You saw those first 4 drives against the Steelers. They were back to back to back to back. There was 1 defensive touchdown, 3 offensive touchdowns. That is scary.
Yeah,
And
but
I
that
don't know.
was
See, now-
by the Steelers giving us short fields.
That doesn't matter. None
Yeah.
of that matters. Field position does not matter. If you can score at will, field position does not matter. You saw that with Ohio State all season.
Well, in that
You're
game
seeing that
against
with Kansas
Baltimore-
City.
Yep.
And you're seeing that now
Yep.
against Pittsburgh.
Well, Mel, that
If you
game
get
against
the
the
ball,
Ravens, that Monday night game against the Ravens, I was down there at the stadium, and it was a track meet, and the Browns probably would have won that game if they had one more possession. But Baltimore had the last possession; they couldn't stop Lamar Jackson that game. But
yeah.
that's
And that was-
interesting. Take
that was
on,
good.
on not stopping. I guess I'm hearing, like, when I hear other people talk about this game tomorrow, I don't hear a lot of people talking about that threat of the Browns not being stopped in a track meet, and everyone's assuming that the Kansas City can just score at will with Patrick Mahomes. But they've been in a lot of tight games. The Chiefs have.
If I could interject with that, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, Kansas City can score, but like you said, they haven't been in a blowout game all season. They haven't just the average game that they've won. Those last 5 games before the season ended into the playoffs, they were winning those games by an average of 6 points. That's not a blowout. With the Browns,
Right. The last time they had a blowout win was against the Jets.
Yeah.
yeah, and with the Browns, my thing with this is I'm wondering how many stops is it going to take to keep Kansas City off the field? Because
Right.
I watched the Dolphins game and I saw a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Really?
Willie.
This is the deal. There's only 3, maybe 4 teams in the NFL that have the roster right now that can really compete with the Chiefs. We saw what the Raiders did in the first matchup. We saw it again on Sunday night. The Buffalo Bills, as well as the Titans. Now, what the Browns can do is 2 things that need to be done in order to stop a Pat Mahomes offense. Number 1, we know they can run the ball because they have the 3rd best rushing attack in the NFL.
That is correct.
But here's what they also can do. They can get pressure on Mahomes with only 4 people. And if you can do that, that is what the Raiders were able to do in the first game. And if you can do that, maybe not sack him, but definitely knock him off his spots and disrupt the timing, then you have a very good chance.
Let me go to Dan. Josh, let me go to Dan.
I want to
first.
say something so bad.
Okay, hold on a second. Dan, what were you going to say?
Well, yeah, I was going to pick up on that point, saying that with the Browns having the cleanest bill of health that they've had for weeks. I mean, I think the only significant players who are questionable, apart from the players who are already out, like Olivia Vernon and OBJ, who we knew weren't going to play, are probably BJ Goodson and Jack Conklin. They're the only significant questionable, and they're definitely not going to be playing. So to have probably the deepest roster we've had for a game in quite a lot of weeks is going to be significant in terms of putting pressure on and defending the pass. But also, conversely, KC are having some significant injury problems themselves. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Andy Reid said he might be a week behind. He might not be for this divisional matchup. Mitchell Schwartz, one of the best right tackles in the game, not going to play. He used to be a Brown,
right?
He used to be a Brown, and a lot of us were pissed that he left.
Yes.
That they didn't resign him. They're already thin on linebacker, and they've lost their talented rookie Willie Gay Jr. Their front seven's going to be a little short-handed as well. So I think the injuries for each team are going to be a big factor in this game as well, and it's going to help us to get to Mahomes and put pressure on him.
Now, Willie, I do have to say you are absolutely correct with the pass rush defense. They have the best pass rush in the league, but in hindsight, because we know it's Patrick Mahomes, my question is, outside of the pass rush, what are you going to do if Mahomes has to hold that ball for longer and he actually is able to create a play on arguably
kind
the
of like
weakest
Lamar
secondary
Jackson
in
was
the
doing with
NFL?
Baltimore in the game a few weeks ago on that Monday night game. That was just
Yeah,
like,
because
what do? You got to pick your poison.
Well, that's
yeah. Well, I'm
I'll
not really worried. I'm not really worried about him running. I'm worried about him creating the throw after the scramble.
Right.
Correct.
Well, and like Lamar Jackson hit that, what is it, Brown, that Hollywood Brown over the top right there at the very end that won it for them. Zach, what were you going to say? And I'll come back to you, Josh, in just a sec.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in. I completely agree with basically the concept that Mal brought up. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying is I can't trust this Browns defense. You don't want them on the field. And then especially with the Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City offense, if they are able to control the clock and if they are able to be on the field, they're going to get theirs. And the Browns defense, outside of like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, who's coming back from not playing, it's honestly not very good. So
yeah. No, Josh, what were you going to say?
So we have good individual pieces on defense. Like I like Ogunjobi. I like Myles Garrett. Ronnie Harrison's played well in stretches.
Right.
I like Siomi Taki. Like my friends and I want to make something called a Taki Taco, whatever that. We'll figure that out at some point. Sheldrick Redwine's made some plays. So
yes,
guys throughout the defense have made plays throughout the season. But
yeah,
I agree. Overall, the defense has been iffy at best.
Right.
But the thing is, this is where I'm going to compare Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes. I'm not comparing them to say that Mayfield is better than Mahomes. I'm not stupid enough to say that because it's just not true. I'm not going to tell a lie.
He was in college.
Okay. Yeah. Fair point now. Point taken. But if you look at Mahomes and Mayfield, I feel like they both are better throwing the ball on the run.
Yeah.
Like moving outside of the pocket. Like the first 2 years that Mayfield was in the league, you know, he was primarily a stationary pocket passer. You know, and he had a good stretch in the 2018 season.
Yeah.
And had some not so good games mixed in, but that happens for every rookie. And then 2019, shit just hit the fan.
Right.
And then this season, Stefanski comes in and he's like, okay, we're going to build our offense. We have these two backs. Why are we not using them? And then we're going to build our passing game off of that. And it's worked. Where we're utilizing the play action, and you're utilizing like the bootlegs off of the play action.
Right.
So again, I'm not saying that Baker is better than Mahomes or whatever. I'm just saying they both kind of play the same type of style.
I'm anxious, Josh. I'm anxious to see. You know, we talked a lot about Mayfield and Mahomes. You know, there was. Do you guys remember when Texas Tech played Oklahoma? It was like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was Mahomes against Baker, and I think it was like the score was like 50 something to 50 something, and they went for like 1,000 bazillion yards of offense. Yeah. And I think
there was so much wrong with that game.
I think
welcome to the Big 12, John. Welcome.
Josh, I lived out there, so I know all about K-State, KU, Oklahoma. I've seen plenty of them play. So I think it'll be that little side note because I mean they played each other 2 years ago when Kansas City came to Cleveland, and at that point, you know, the Browns were not where they are today. But it'll be a lot of fun. I guess I want to go around the room before we just touch base a little bit on some of the other playoff games. Can you give me if you can give me a prediction of what you think is going to happen tomorrow? If you don't know, you can just throw it out there, and Browns win, Browns lose, maybe a score, and we'll see who's closest. We'll review this podcast later, and somebody here will get a nice prize. No. All right, Dan.
Don't send me nothing Kansas related.
What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I was really pessimistic last week, and I actually predicted the Steelers to win. So I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to be really optimistic. I'm going to go for Browns win 42-35.
Okay, nice. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I just can't see the Browns beating the Chiefs.
Okay.
It pains me to say that. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs winning by a score of, we'll say, 30-24.
30-24. Do you think the Chiefs will be in the lead that they'll hop out to a lead, Zach, early on? Is that what you're thinking?
I think it'll be close throughout.
Okay.
But the Chiefs will ultimately prevail.
Okay. Willie, what do you think?
Kansas City Chiefs, I hate you.
But
yeah, I hate you. But this is I got to give you two scores, man, because like I said previously,
okay.
I did pick the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl, so I realistically can't pick against them. I would like to see the Browns win, but I do believe the Chiefs are the overall better team. It's going to be closer than people think. They're definitely going to cover the spread.
Yes, 10 points, right? Is that what it is right now?
Yeah, it's double digits. So I'm going to say it's going to be a shootout too. I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes 38, Baker Mayfield 34.
Okay.
Damn, he didn't even say the team names. Wow, you really do hate the Chiefs.
Okay.
Okay, Josh.
So, quick caveat. These two teams will actually be playing each other again next season in Arrowhead.
Yes. I'm going to that one, Josh. I've already made plans with my buddies in Kansas.
Yep. So and that's because the AFC North is playing the AFC West, and the AFC North will be playing the NFC.
Really? Do you want to join us up there at Arrowhead? I know you just love Arrowhead.
You know what? If this pandemic is over with, let's make it happen.
All right, that'd be great. We could do it, Willie. We can do our podcast together.
Mm-hmm.
Or
All
Willie, the Raiders are coming to Cleveland again next season.
Oh, that's right. So Josh, what's your prediction for the game tomorrow?
I'm an objective Browns fan. If I don't think the Browns are going to win, I'm not going to pick them. I'm not one of these delusional.
And I'm feeling you're not going to pick them.
No. However, this game is going to overtime.
Oh, wow. There you go.
And Kansas City wins it on a field goal.
Wow.
Chiefs 34, Browns 31.
Nice. Okay. Nell, the Steeler fan, I know you're feeling a little dissed and you think the Browns are going to get clapped.
No. Here's the thing I want people to realize. I'm a football fan first. I expect this game to go either one of two ways.
Okay.
If the Browns can get 2 turnovers and 1 3-and-out, I have the Browns winning. If this turns into a shootout,
yes,
which is possible, I have Kansas City winning.
Yes.
Now, with Kansas City turning this into a shootout, I'm going 44-40 Kansas City.
44-40.
If the Browns can get those 2 stops, 2 turnovers, and 1 3-and-out,
yep,
Cody Parkey will be the savior of the game. Last second field goal. Last second field goal, 38-35. But before I leave,
he's like the underappreciated superhero the last couple of weeks for the Brownies.
Exactly. But I want everybody to pay attention to this part too. This is a big factor in this game. Sammy Watkins is out.
Yes.
For tomorrow's game.
No, I don't think that's big.
I'm sorry, but that's not
big.
No.
How is that not big?
He hasn't been
How's
a
that not
factor
big?
for Kansas City all season.
He's the fastest player on Kansas City's team. Who can keep up with him?
Wait, what?
Wait, whoa,
No.
well, not Sammy. That would be
That's Tyreek Hill.
yeah, Tyreek.
I
Tyreek
still
Hill.
say it's Sammy, but I still
Really?
say Sammy.
Okay.
No.
But my point is, okay, if Sammy's out, you still got Tyreek. That's one person. That's one less
And
person you
Travis
got to worry
Kelce.
about. There's still one less person you have to worry about as a Browns defense.
Now,
You are- you-
I like
Now
Yeah.
here's a question. If I can ask this question to everybody on board, if you're a player, and I know at least 5 of us have played a sport, so if you're a player and you've got 3 of the best receiving people on one team in the entire league,
Yeah.
and one of them is down, does that not give you the sense of relief as one less person to deal with? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, as a DB, I hate guarding tight ends.
uh-huh.
That's like guarding a basketball player. It's like guarding Shaq at my height.
He
And
always
I'm only
gets
5'8".
out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's like guarding Shaq at my height. I'm 5'8".
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you got to deal with Tyreek Hill, who's a speedster. If Sammy's out, who's another speedster, when healthy, you only got to worry about Kelsey and Tyreek. That takes a lot of stress off of Harrison and Ward, because I guarantee you, if they were to rotate all 3 of those players, you'd have to. If you're Denzel Ward, you're
Yeah.
going to be pissed because you got to see one of them at least twice in the series.
Well, Mel, I like your take too on we haven't talked a lot about what you just said, but about the takeovers. I'm going to be paying attention to that. Obviously, the Browns had a really good stretch in the last game against the Steelers, having 5 turnovers. I wrote about that earlier in the season too. I mean, it's a huge deal for the Browns defense. And I think that's where Stefanski, if you listen to his press conferences and they talk about the defense, he's teaching they've taught their players that's a real key part to their defense. So if they can get that 2 turnovers or 3, I think that's putting the Browns in a really good spot tomorrow. If they don't have anything, that's going to be a real problem. So I agree. I think that the Chiefs, unless they start turning it over, I think if they do, then that's good for the Browns.
The Chiefs are not invincible. That's my thing. I don't like that. I agree with Stephen A. Smith when he said the Browns pose the biggest threat to the Chiefs,
Yes.
because you're going into this, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree. I get it. I'm going to be understanding about it, but think about it. You're going into this game with an offense that's just as good as Kansas City's, if not better in some areas. You clearly can run the ball better.
Yep.
Because you got 2,000-yard backs. You clearly have the better offensive line. I don't care what nobody says.
I agree.
You got
with you
2
on that.
backs.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the
You
offense.
got 2,000-yard backs. You got a hell of an offensive line. If the Browns follow the Dolphins format, which I think they will,
Yeah.
pressure Mahomes, not make him run, but just keep him in the pocket and keep him moving so he can't see receivers running across the field. I think this plays out a big factor in Cody Parkey being the savior for the Browns at the end.
Okay.
Hey,
so
Josh.
Sorry for jumping in, John.
No,
But,
that's cool.
Mel,
I want to get to Josh. Before you go, before we go to the next thing, I want to just right after your take, I want to talk just real briefly about the other playoff games starting here in a couple hours and get your takes on those. But back to you, Josh.
Okay, so Mel, I see what you're saying about Sammy Watkins, but when you even though Watkins isn't going to be there, you still have to deal with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. We don't know about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They still have Le'Veon Bell. And don't forget McCole Hardman on the other side. I don't know.
If you're listening to the podcast, Mel is very disgruntled by Josh's comments.
And also, wait, one more thing. Arrowhead Stadium is not going to be packed like it usually is for playoffs.
And it's probably going to be full of Browns fans. There are a lot of people that I know that are going to be there.
So that's going to be a huge factor, I think, that we don't have to deal with the usual Arrowhead crowd noise.
Okay. I'll give you the crowd. I'm not worried about Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, in my book, the most idiotic running back ever. You could have stayed in a good position. You decided to leave.
I mean, you're not biased.
You took the ass to the New York Jets.
Now he's a
and
Buckeye.
that
I
didn't work
didn't
out.
realize his connection back here in Columbus. Where I work. There's several people that know him personally. So I don't know Bell that well, but I found that out just in the last few weeks. So
He went to Michigan
I'm not.
State. No.
I just make sure that I don't if I ever meet him, I won't tell him, Mel, that you find him to be.
I'll tell him. You should have stayed your ass in Pittsburgh. We needed you in Pittsburgh, and you left. You're a jerk. I'm sorry.
Well,
anyway,
there you go. I
I'm not
understand your
worried about
animosity.
Bell.
So
Yeah.
before I leave, or before we end the show here, I wanted to just briefly touch on the other playoff games. We've got the two games today, the Bills and the Ravens. And later on tonight, it's the Rams and the Packers.
It flipped the other way.
Oh,
That's
it's
the other way,
the
yeah.
Rams and the Packers first.
Yeah.
I think that game starts at what, 3? Is that right? So I wanted your take on those
4.
games. Anybody want to chime in there? The first game is the Rams.
I'll
and the Packers.
take the Packers game.
Okay, Dan, let's
4:30.
take first,
So
and then we'll come back to you, Josh. Yeah.
I see no way that the Green Bay Packers do not win this game.
Okay.
Rams defense great, but Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams is just an unbelievable tandem. I think.
What about the Rams running game? I mean, the Rams have a pretty decent.
But that's all they have. I mean, their backup Wolford's out. Cooper, their wide receiver, is questionable, and Jared Goff's playing with an injured finger, and he was disastrous in the wildcard game last week. So I just can't see them putting up enough offense to keep pace with Green Bay.
Okay, Willie, did you have something to say, or Zach on either the two games earlier?
Yeah, the Rams, they have a recipe. You have a one-man wrecking crew on the D line that can shove away double teams and triple teams to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you have Jalen Ramsey that's probably going to shadow Devontae Adams all over the field. Essentially can take the field away. That is a recipe. Now, does the recipe have enough ingredients based on everything that Dan just said?
Yes.
In particular with the limitations of Jared Goff, because that thumb is on that thumb injury is on his throwing hand.
Yes.
So they're gonna have to really rely on Cam Akers in the running game and Malcolm Brown from the University of Texas to get that running game going. But
there you go.
I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think the Green Bay Packers will win it.
Okay. Anybody else thoughts on the Packers and the Rams game?
I'm so excited for Devontae Adams against Jalen Ramsey.
I'm torn on this one, and here's why. Yes, we know Aaron Rodgers, successor to Brett Favre, greatest Packer in history, yada yada yada. Let's not forget what the Rams defense did to Russell Wilson last week.
Yes,
they made life for Russell Wilson
the whole second half.
Well,
Wilson's been terrible in the whole second half.
That's a
he's been terrible. Yes, wait. Yes, he's been terrible the whole second half of the season. But if Russell Wilson is not playing at all for the Seahawks this season, do the Seahawks make the playoffs?
No.
Probably
not.
Okay.
But Seattle,
with that being said,
terrible.
So with that being said,
that offensive line is the worst I've ever seen.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Dad.
It's unbelievable. I watch a lot of Seahawks games. I love Russ Wilson, and I've never seen anything so bad.
Wait, hold up. But they still made the playoffs, and they were second behind the team that actually won the division, which was LA, correct?
No. Seattle won the division. The Rams were the wild card.
That's right. Okay. But who won that game? Just tell me who won that game.
I know the Rams won the division. I'm just telling you that it was I'm just giving you the correct information that Seattle won the division and the Rams were the wild card. That's all.
And I said that's fine, but who won the game?
Right.
It was the Rams.
It was the
Rams defense. It was the Rams defense, and they made life hell for Russell Wilson. Do you really think that the Rams are going into this game and think that Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers are just going to run roughshod over the Rams? It's not happening.
Right.
Aaron McDonald is going to have a field day trying to get at Aaron Rodgers. And when he does, that's going to cause a problem between Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, and the rest of that offense, because everybody knows quarterbacks do not like to get hit. When you hit Aaron Rodgers, it's been fatal. The last few times in the season, Aaron Rodgers has been hit and hit hard enough, he's been injured.
Do you not know about the mobility?
Willie? What were you gonna say? Hold on, Willie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I can't hear. Why can't I hear? Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to chime in real quick because I got to get out of here.
Yes.
So, but in terms of what you guys are saying about Russell Wilson, who in the world is Seattle's backup quarterback? Do we even know?
Nobody knows.
No.
Nobody knows. That's exactly my point. Bro, like, I don't even know who's Cleveland's backup?
Case
Case
Keenum.
Keenum.
But for the
Who the hell knew that besides Browns fans?
well, I knew it, but no, seriously. In terms of the Seahawks, I think the trade for Jamal Adams might have been a little bit overvalued, even though he is a great player. He is a game changer, but he hasn't been right all season due to a myriad of injuries. So I think for the Seahawks in that game against the Rams last week, they just didn't show up. It was just a matter of being one of those Saturdays and or Sundays where any team can, or any given Saturday or Sunday, and it was just their time. And then what Jalen Ramsey did to DK Metcalf, there should be an arrest warrant out for Jalen Ramsey for DK Metcalf.
That was disrespectful.
I'm gonna interject. I appreciate. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. I know some of us have to. We've got other podcasts. I know I've heard from several of you who have your own shows and have several shows coming up. And it's really been awesome to have this group from CleveSportTalk.com with us. Zach is our leader, and we appreciate. It was just good having all of you be here, and hopefully we can do this again. And if the Browns can continue their winning ways, and we have a victory Monday, we should try to get a little round table. All of you have really great insights and different backgrounds, which just makes this much more entertaining. So I wish you all very well and continue the good work. Zach, you're doing a great job. Thanks again for bringing us all together too. So
Cody Porky.
So thanks, Stan, all the way there in England, and Zach up there in Cleveland, and Mel is up there, and Josh Willie is out there in Dallas. Good to see you guys. Thanks again. And I always end my show on the Johnny Cleveland podcast with everybody remember to keep smiling. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
See ya.